I want to talk about weird injuries, and you've had one before. It had to do with your steering wheel, and
Yeah.
but I've talked to guys about injury and some of the things what caused them are on and off the record. So in your case, you kind of lied to the media about what happened. So tell me about this injury and then how you played it off.
Well, yeah. So what happened was, and there's a couple reasons. When I hurt my elbow, no surgery. But I had, by the way, no shoulder or elbow surgery. I'm very fortunate in that regard, but maybe I just didn't throw hard enough. But it was 2009, beginning of 2009. I had my first start, and then pitching coach wants me the very next day to go work on something. It was against the A's, actually. And we go out, I'm like, oh, dude, like I'm kind of tired, like I'm sore. Like I just come off the first start of the year. We go out and we start trying this little thing with my hands, like this little variation with my hands. And I'm like, I'm really feeling it, right? The next day I go and pitch. The next day I go and throw. My arm does not feel right. There's something up. And a couple things. One, I didn't want to first of all say that I was throwing a bullpen the very next day. That's really bad because then they're going to be like, why are they making him throw a bullpen the next day? Because we did it early, by the way, before anyone rolled into the stadium at Oakland, second game of the year. Second game of their homestand to start the year. And there's a reason for that because it'd be, why the hell is he throwing off the mound the day after? And then after that, we get home, we get off the plane, get home. I'm driving, turn the steering wheel kind of hard, turn my wrist, and boom! All of a sudden, my elbow just flared up. Like it just got really, And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to. I just said that I kept everything under wraps. I wasn't lying so much to anyone. I just didn't want to throw anyone under the bus in regards to throwing a bullpen the next day.
Okay.
I didn't want to make excuses in regards to. I didn't have a bad start, and the other thing is too, I was in denial too. Like my elbow was like swollen. Like I had to get drained all this fluid out of there. It was brutal. It was so locked up that I couldn't bend my elbow at all. It was locked. And I was like, what the hell? But I wasn't going to say any of the details. I just said, because I just didn't want to throw anyone under the bus. And the other thing is too, you're going to remember, I felt not ashamed by it, but I was just like, good spring training, make the rotation. I'm hurt. You just feel like an absolute piece of shit. You really feel like just such a letdown, So there's a little bit of that. And then I've had a situation, there's been a couple of these. I was, as we all know about the Phantom IL, when teams put players because they're struggling and they don't want, it's a little bit different now with the way it works, but this is 2010. I got like a 6 ERA. I'm struggling. Go to Chicago, get absolutely torched. Like, if you've been to a game, anyone listening been to a game with the White Sox, and they hit a home run, those fireworks are so loud. And I remember just going, running for cover every time I give up. I was like, I can't. It was like PTSD. Well, the next day I come in and they're like, hey, we're going to put you on the Phantom IL and you're going to have an injury. We're going to give you the injury when you get to the clubhouse. I was like, oh my God, because I needed a break, man.
Did they pick it out of a hat or something? Like, what are we going to give them?
They usually go like a non-structural one. It could be like a back stiffness, like a calf muscle, or a quad strain, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. They're the classics. So I'm walking into the clubhouse. I get a text message from former quarterback Matt Hasselbeck, used to be with the Seahawks. And he goes, hey, man, I heard about your back. First of all, I didn't know what the injury was. He goes, hey, man, I heard about your back. Right,
that's what they said. Got it, yeah.
He goes, hey, man, I heard about your back. I got a really good back guy. I can give you his number. I'm like, oh, I guess it's my back. Like, from a media relations standpoint, they came out and said, oh, Rowland-Smith's at that point, the deal. But
it was Matt Hasselbeck who kind of told you had the back injury.
Yeah, because he had read about it. Yeah. Yeah, so he popped up on his phone, Mariner News or something. He goes, oh, Ryan's hurt his back. I've got a back guy. I'll send it to him. And so, don't mean to name drop there or anything, but I was just like, oh, thanks, Matt. I didn't want to tell him because I was like, that's embarrassing if he's like, hey, Matt, idiot, But I said, oh, thanks, man. I'll get that from you. So I go in the clubhouse, and sure enough, I have to talk to the media and just say, yeah, my back's killing me. It's been like this for a couple of weeks. And
how do you do that? Because I'm putting myself in reporter shoes. I'm going to ask follow-up questions. Like, did you feel it when you were throwing? Like all this other stuff. Do you got to kind of like bullshit your way through that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And you just keep the details light and just say, it's just and here's the other thing too. Look, Jess, some of them know, like especially ones, who and some of them maybe don't, but you just have to do it. And then
we have to act like we're being informed too. So I get it.
Correct. Yeah. And so any work I did, so I was still throwing and I was working on stuff. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. It was such a mess. So I'd get there at literally like 11:30 noon and playing catch, throwing bullpens and everything at that time because I couldn't be caught, throwing bullpens. So we had Carlos Silva, who was on the Phantom, and he's like swinging a fungo trying to hit it out of the park, and all the reporters are like, you put this in a tough spot here. You know what I mean? Because like we're not supposed to be seeing this.
Yeah.
He had a bad something. Like he's swinging a fungo. It's like, bro, like you're supposed to be acting like you can't do anything. Yeah, it's funny.
I wish I could honestly tweet that. I feel like I wish we could be more honest. Like he's got a bad something. You know what's going on.
Yeah,
like
no,
just leave him alone. Let him be.
Yeah. It's different now, though. It's a little different now with the shorter IL too. I guess like I can't think in my head how it is different. But the teams don't do it as like they used to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
But it's usually a player is out of options, and you don't want to. You can't. They don't want to DFA you, but they can't have you keep going. Yeah.
It's actually kind of brilliant because that they have to. Like I think of like NCIS. They have like a whiteboard, and they're like, okay, well these are his options. You have the red string going. You're you can't do that. Kind of deal. But I think it's kind of brilliant because you have to do those types of things.
Oh yeah, for sure.